Hi guys. Hi Christopher.
Hello,
Hi
hello.
Stan. How are
Hello.
you guys?
Yeah, good. Nice.
Working from home at the moment, of course. We're not in the same room. That's a
You're
bit
not in the
sad.
same room. Oh,
No. Yeah, it would be funny if you turn the camera.
yeah.
Yeah, we can bump each other, but no, it's not allowed at the moment here in the Netherlands. But
Okay.
yeah, we are working remotely, and yeah, everything is going fine. We have a lot of Zoom calls during the day. But sometimes not.
So you're still very busy, I suppose.
Yeah, it's going well even in these troubled times. But I think we really can't complain, and I think this also helps to structure the day a bit more because we are actually quite busy. I think so. It's a lot of hard work still, so that helps keeping the mind a bit of the horrible stuff that is happening, which is good.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go away from this. Let's not spend more time on this. We all know.
Exactly.
We all know what's going on here. So, yeah. Okay. So I have the first question is about your history, and I expect you guys were not there when the studio was founded in 1977, but the work that the studio was doing back then and the work that it is doing now is very different. How does the past influence what you're doing now? Is there anything like that you feel?
I think that the work is maybe a little bit different, but the mentality in the studio itself really feels that the same mentality that was back then is still there. Not that we experienced it, because we weren't even born when the studio was started. Although from stories from the people who used to work at that time, they all say like it was really like an eager driven a studio where everyone was always like really energetic and eager to make the best work possible. And I think that mentality sort of still flows through the studio. So I think there's still, there are some traces from what it was. But definitely like we are doing different work right now, of course, because we're like all times changed. We are way more digital, way more focused on motion. But yeah, I still think there's a big connection of what it was and what it is right now. I don't know how you feel about it, Chris.
No, I agree. I think the mentality and the essence of what Dumbar was and what Dumbar is still the same, but just the times have changed. So where back in the day the work was way more focused on, of course, on print work, on maybe 3D objects, on whatever graphic design was back in the day, and yeah, we went with our time, and brands, design, etc. just lives way more on screen, especially in these times. And with that addition of the screen, a crazy amount of possibilities open up as well, which results in Dumbar doing a lot more motion work, simply because we feel that the idea of static design, it's not from this time anymore. Like it can grow way bigger, and because we simply have the technical possibilities. So the essence is still there, but the times have changed. Let's keep it like that.
Definitely. You can kind of have the feeling as well. In your work is a lot about typography as well, many times. So many times you're using the dynamic fonts and all of that kind of stuff. And I feel like typography is very much connected to the Netherlands. So that also feels like you're working with that tradition. Is that right?
Yeah,
I think
know.
so.
It feels very natural or something to try to solve things with typography and trying to give character in communication, and I think that makes a lot of sense. I don't know. I never thought about it in that way. But we do use a crazy amount of typography, and it that is our way. I don't know. This is a natural thing. We design with letters, like it has to be or something.
Yeah, it's also because like sometimes the typography itself becomes the visible, and in that you can also communicate the typography. So while sometimes maybe the typography is also kind of decorative in a way, we still are able to communicate a message through the visuals. And I think that's something we all in the studio really like to do. So that's maybe the reason why we do it. If it's actually connected to the Netherlands, yeah, I'm not sure. Like if we were in Switzerland, then maybe it was a clear thing.
Well, yeah. You still very good schools for typography. That's how I feel about it. But still, okay. So we talked about we touched on the tech, no, and the new horizons that open. So when you're using all of these creative processings and all of that stuff, or let's say before you do that, when you get a brief, do you immediately think, oh, let's use that new processing thingy that I know, or is it the other way around? Is it first visual and then technical, or is it tech and then visual?
Do you want to answer this, Chris?
Yeah, I can do it as well. I think it's what we're usually trying to. Let's keep it a bit easier. I think most of the ideas start at the designers. So we're sketching, we're thinking, etc. But we have this crazy team of insanely talented people around us that are either the motion designers or the creative coder, which is Sander Sturing. And 9 out of 10 times we come up with something crazy that we can't make, but we know that it is possible to make, and then we either ask the motion designers or the creative coder, like, hey, can you maybe fix this for me, because this would really fit the concept that I'm thinking of right now. Like, I'm doing this crazy shit with gradients, maybe you can make sort of level it up in motion or in code. And then usually we end up with either a motion designer or a creative coder, depending on the creative or the technological boundaries. So, for example, the Amsterdam Sinfonietta code that was ideal to do via processing, because of computing power, because blah 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 blah, all these things. So we ended up with a code, but there are also a lot of examples. For example, the Club Brugge identity. Which is in essence, like, from the motion principle essence, it's quite an easy identity. It's just an arrow moving up and down, etc. Very dynamic. In that case, we just ended up with the motion designers because they have way more sort of subtle control over how these movements work in easing, etc. So it starts from an idea, and then it ends up in either one of these two paths, based on what technology or what the actual design question is.
Yeah. It's never the other way around. It's never that, like, we find a nice trick and we want to push it into something. It's always starts with a concept and a field where we start experimenting in. Yeah,
it also has to make sense. Like the motion principle needs to be connected to the thing that you're trying to communicate. Like Stan says, it's not just like a visual sauce that we throw on top of something, and then hopefully the client will like it or something. It really has to be connected in a way to what the brand is trying to tell, or what we want the brand to tell, etc. So the message is still the most important feature of what we're trying to make, either in still or in motion.
Okay. This is connected to, and I'm just going to ask you about your connection to depth. So how does that work? You're part of depth now, and so you're together, you're in the same office, or how does the creative collaboration work between you guys?
Yeah, we are in the same office, but we have our own corner in the office itself. So you really have like the studio Dumbar corner where it's the weird music coming from, and we are really the weird guys in the whole thing. But overall, like we are one company, but we have our own projects. So we are our own team within that. And sometimes we collaborate with certain projects. So, for example, if we really need to create like a big website for a client, most of the time we also collaborate with Desde to do the development part, or either even help on the design part. And those collaborations happen quite often. But there are also a lot of projects where we are only with the team of Dumbar working on the same projects at that time, I think. Do you want to add something to that, Chris?
No, not really. Maybe a little bit. The idea of that is, of course, that it's a sort of 360 degrees experience. So they can do everything a client needs when it's based online, from digital marketing campaigns to like big advertising campaigns, etc. But if a client comes to us for an identity question, we are most of the time sort of just before the depth starts to operate. So we really do the identity, and then we give our little child to depth, and they really start to interfere with the business of this company. Mm-hmm. So doing like all digital campaigns, etc. So when we do collaborate, but there is like this quite clear border of, okay, our identity work stops here, and then they take it and do their magic with it. So the brand becomes more visible and just better online. So that's it, I think.
Cool. Go away from this, and I wanted to know from you guys, what are you guys working on right now? Is there something you want to share? Something you want to show?
I don't think we're allowed.
No, we're not allowed. No. We have a lot of NDAs of the current projects. I think we just finished, like, of course, the D&AD projects that we showed. I think this was also, quite a recent project where the ceremony just happened, but was also digital. For the West at the moment, we're like mostly working for clients that we can share. we just did a Dutch TV channel. That's really nice. We released it on our Instagram, so that one we can actually share that we worked on. But we didn't include it yet in the presentation. That will be in the future as well. For the rest, we have really exciting things running. I wish I could tell you, but we can't at the moment.
Yeah, so sorry. No, we're working on nothing.
So you're not doing anything. Okay. Well,
no.
If this is not the right way, we don't have a lot of time left for this. But I cannot not address the fact that you guys are from the same city, have this whole story. I think everyone who has seen your talk will know about this. So is this? I mean, how does this work for you, that your lives are so closely connected?
I think it works out really well. I think what a nice addition is to the story is that so Stan won eventually, of course. So he was the first inside of the gates of Dumbar, but and then of course he introduced me or gave me a little push inside the team when a spot opened up. And I think Lisa, our creative director, said, Stan, are you sure? Are you sure that you want a friend of yours working here? That can go really wrong, eh? So there were definitely some doubts in the beginning.
Yeah, she said that. This could end your friendship, like a relationship like this. And then I said no. I'm like, I was 100% sure that Chris would be like a great addition to the team. But then when he joined, Lisa also said like, okay, Chris, you're gonna sit here, like on this island. Stan, you're gonna
separated us.
We're separated, like, because we are both quite loud. We have this origin from this small village next to Delft. Some people
like
say,
to scream.
Some people call us the farmers. Like the farmers or the greenhouses. You have a lot of greenhouses in the village. So we are both like quite loud. Like, so I think in a way it's good that we sit apart, but now we scream to each other from a longer distance. I'm not sure if that really worked. But now it's really great. Like we knew each other before we knew each other before high school already. And then I heard Chris actually telling me that he was going to do the graphic design course at that point. And I didn't knew at the time yet what I wanted to do, but in the end I also followed that path. And, yeah, we became better friends also on the road. So it was also in the beginning we didn't knew each other that well, and then we get some friends that were friends from both of us, and then slowly we became better friends. So it's just a great story.
Great story.
It's funny. Yeah.
Exactly.
Super cool story. Okay, guys, thank you very much for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our 15 minutes are up. So thank you again for being part of Blanc 2020. And super sorry that we can't see each other actually in person. But hopefully we can make up for this next year or whenever, when the world is a different place again.
We'll be happy to coming to Barcelona. Absolutely.
Please do. Cool, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.